My always go-to answer is that you should play Zweihander instead. We're back for session 15.
I'm buying 2 more starter sets, man. Yeah,
if you haven't got your starter set yet, it is now finally shipping from Amazon. I got my 2-day notice. I ordered several for friends and influencers. Wink, you know who you are. They were supposed to ship back in November, but it was run out of stock, which is a good bad problem to have. So they're shipping.
Happy Slaughtermas.
Happy Slaughtermas! Yay! Let's go. So tonight, Adam is back. He's no longer sick.
Hello.
He's no longer sick of us. Tim is sick of us, so he left. He's actually going to be back probably next time we play. He's out, so the rest of us are here. So we'll jump right in. We've already got our Fortune and Misfortune pools done. We've already got our initiative rolled. We haven't started this session talking about vasectomies, so I think we're actually ready to begin.
Man, I missed out last
You did. You missed good conversations.
Had a monologue prepared.
Yeah. So here's how the recording begins, and that's what you should know about vasectomies. And because you didn't record that, did you, Dan? I'm like, no. I did. It's a soft open. So let's talk about what happened last game session. So where Adam likely remembers is along the road, you had come to the fork between Sodden and Poil in the midst of the swamp.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we stopped there, and then we kind of picked up thereafter along the trail. Along the trail we did. So you walked for a while with Beatrix, the bookbinder, and she talked a little about the ongoings of Sodden and Poil, and she spoke about the War of the Pond, the big lake that separates the two villages.
Big ass lake.
Yeah, big lake. About a local custom gone wrong called puddle jumping. Some Soddenite noble, and I use that term noble loosely, drown, and then the war between Sodden and Poil started, and it culminated with the deicide, if you will, of Le Porc Noir, the black pig of Poil, who the people of Poil believe was a god, and Poil was no longer. So that was kind of the backstory. So you all arrive in Sodden, and there's literally nobody here. The first person you see, in fact, on the trail is a young girl named Gretel who's fishing snails out of the pond, this massive lake that spans to the edges of the horizon.
And I was running.
That's right. Hey! Hey!
Covered the length of a football field in 2
because Chris succeeded that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah,
That's an Argentine test. I roll 0-1.
Sending out.
Yeah.
So you scare the bucket of snails from this young girl's hands, and you discover this swamping village of literally 4 people.
4 people.
We'd seen so far. That's
Not really a village, more than a family.
4 people and a lot of apple pie.
All the orchards,
Yeah.
Yeah. So who do you meet while you're there?
We met the Baron.
Yeah, the Baron. Yeah, what's the Baron's name?
Hi. Baron. Someone who took notes. I just was listening to this on the way here.
Baron Martell.
Baron Martell.
Hey guys, it's Baron Martell.
Oh, there I go.
It's Martell, guys.
So you meet Baron Martell of Sodden, the richest man in all of Sodden, who owns all the sour apple orchards around here.
Who's surprisingly evasive for a man who likes to have such lavish lunches and dinners. As he refused to really speak to us about anything that we really wanted to discuss with him, constantly deflecting us towards a different topic conversation.
Polite conversation,
right? Yeah. Letting us know that we will discuss more when night falls. We'll discuss more around the fire.
Who joined you at the fire that night?
That was
another person from the village.
Their tinkerer.
Cobbler, right?
Cobbler.
Cobbler,
He's a cobbler.
Fiddly
Cobble.
gigs.
Fiddleroy.
Fitzroy.
Roy.
And Fitzroy is an outsider who had arrived in the city of in the small community and has
The Hamlet. The Hamlet.
Hamlet, not the village of Hamlet. That's a different thing.
Yeah.
He had effectively gotten stuck here, which we discovered that when
Clovis?
Thomas.
Is it
Clovis and
Thomas. Yeah, Clovis and Thomas decided to press the issue when they both began to combine efforts to evade any topic of conversation. Clovis and Thomas pressed the issue and managed to convince them that it was in their best interest to be upfront with what's really happening in this town. We discovered that there's a local witch, which we had some suspicions about, that had cursed the man-at-arms.
Gerd.
Yes.
Gerd.
Gerd Adelard.
Gerd Adelard, yeah. And
Nice.
it had cursed Gerd Adelard because Gerd had gone out to the woods to try to find the missing son of the Baron.
So I think we're kind of missing why Gerd was going out there. What is the ritual that the people of Sodden?
They send the kids out with the pig
So yeah,
to present to the witch.
Le Porte Noir's
Le Porte
children who are still over in Poil.
Yes.
That is their recompense to the witch in the woods is that they take one of Le Porte Noir's
The
children
demigod swine.
every year and they place it on this tree out in the Applewood Trail. But they can only be handled by children, otherwise they become incredibly violent.
That's right. The pigs are very violent. They're a breed of hog called a barrel-bellied orc.
Oh.
Not sound great.
Parabelled.
And then it gets worse because then the kids either, they kind of age out of this ability, or worse yet, and what we've now heard several times in the surrounding swamp and orchard is little titters of goblin laughter and chatter, which is apparently what these children turn into.
The apple goblins, yeah,
The apple goblins,
which is
yeah.
what Gretel called us when you first saw us with that bucket of snails.
Yeah.
They've got those apple goblin genes.
Boots probably not with the
Gerd.
It was good. Well played, Chris. Well played.
Oh god. We got the frog wives looking at Gerd, man. Yeah.
So
Got the frog wives looking at Gerd.
we went to talk to Gerd
Gerd.
Adelard.
Where was Gerd at?
In
the
his...
watermill.
Yeah.
The old water.
Yeah. Where he was being tended to by a
Frog wife.
frog wife by the frog
Alma.
wife. His partner. When we discovered that he's been being heavily medicated with laudanum, I believe it was.
Smelling salts.
Smelling salts. Oh goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And he is pretty out of his mind. Kind of speaking a lot, gibberish, talking a lot. He seemed to be kind of trapped in his own mind in a past event involving. I believe was that when we figured out that it was that he's also an outsider who is a part of the slaughter of La Porte Noire.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So yeah, that was the same time. Yeah, because we got him all messed up on smelling salt, so he could be coherent for a little bit.
Although we didn't do that till the next morning because
you'd approach, and when you first came, he was talking to somebody who you learned was long dead, a man named Buak Bean.
But then we heard his story, which was functionally that they're running out of kids, they're running out of this option. So exactly right, to find the previous kid Hans, who was the Baron's son. He basically went out and started trailing, trying to find went out this Applewood Trail and tried to start finding it. Found
A friar.
not a lady, not a witch in the traditional sense. Found a friar that was of an interesting description. Did he actually was able to give the name because he actually knew the person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Friar
So yeah,
Orwell.
he called him out actually specifically as name Friar Clavinger.
There's a collective what?
Yep. So as he continued to walk, and this is where we were figuring out our stuff, is that then these functionally whatever was Friar Clavinger, the skin of the friar just fell off of this
fun.
creature.
Mhm.
And then functionally, the Gerd got messed up real bad. He got cursed by whatever the witch's magic was. And eventually we did get a look at that, which was these kind of gnarled, long, black, almost disease-looking fingertips and these
And his
now
arm,
green
like-
skin. Yes. Now like
Like
creeping up.
it was a weird little stubby arm, wasn't it? Like it was
Like he'd been slowly transformed into
Into
a,
a-
you know,
apple goblin jeans.
that's never going to leave my mind.
I'm never.
Yeah.
What have you done to us?
You've ruined us.
Yeah.
You've ruined it all.
I think we
Every
could,
campaign's got to have a bad one.
I think as we were coming to the
Beyonce,
conclusion,
Big
Beyonce.
hat guy,
I guess this is pretty
white
relevant
guy.
for Pipistrella to know about. While we
It's a hell
were
of a bad guy name.
having that conversation, Pipistrella had stayed and to assist Gretel with gathering snails. Gretel being basically the only child left in this village, and we were coming to the conclusion that we needed to we were going to go and find the witch and bring her to justice or whatever we want to call it.
Closer.
We just Clovister, right? And then we discovered that Pipistrella and Gretel are both gone.
Also, one more detail.
Oh yeah,
The God Slayer, Gerd Adelard, gifted us the black pelt of the Orc Noir.
That's right.
oh right, yeah.
Right.
What does the black pill do?
The effect is when wearing this pelt, ignore all toughness tests.
Oh, I then also emotionally and mentally traumatized.
Oh yeah,
Tiberius on accident.
Dimensional
Oh
memory.
yeah.
Yeah, and then I made a girl cry, a small child
That's
cry.
right.
So
yeah.
Guillaume killed it last week.
Guillaume played
The mandolin of memory.
Yeah, the
That's
mandolin of
right.
memory, playing the song that had haunted Tiberius
That was
for
etched on the back.
years, and Tiberius had a very visceral reaction to hearing that again. So
And nothing happened of it. You were all
yet.
jacked up on the chewing thing.
Oh yes, trying to figure out all of
Mandrake
these
root.
things. Yeah,
Mandrake root. Yeah, you were
Yeah.
all zoned out and then feeling real good.
Gerd, talk about anything else?
Yes. I'm just assuming it's a yes because you asked.
Since you asked.
He had talked. Nope, not there.
I don't remember.
Perfect. So we turn now
Yeah.
to the
He said, "Don't let the witch touch you." Basically,
oh yeah, I'd
or you'll
forgotten that.
get cursed.
So Pipistrella, you are at this point. You're kind of. Yeah, this sounds really ominous. You are essentially shin deep in swamp water, and at your side is this small young girl. You would guess she's maybe 8, 9 years old. Well, not everybody. And she has these kind of tattered looking clothes on. I mean, she smells of the swamp. She has like a little bonnet around her head. She's carrying a bucket, and she's plucking snails out of the muck and the mud of the swamp where you're at, as you are too. As you look toward the sun overhead, it's kind of fading fast. It's kind of turned that kind of haze of pink and yellow on the horizon, and the sounds of the swamp are all around you. You came out here pretty far, and you're looking around. You're like, there's no trail out here, but it seems that this young girl Gretel knows where she's going, as she will grab at your hand and pull you deeper into the swamp, further and further.
Are you sure? The sun is starting to set.
It's when all the good snails come out.
So you often do this at night.
We go sailing.
Do you have a light to see by?
I can see fine.
Do you have a light to see by?
She points toward the sky.
Very well. And so she reluctantly goes along.
We'll go talk to my friend.
I remember now.
I don't remember there being any other children.
Oh, he's not a child. He's not like me. He's big.
Ah,
Very friendly.
well, that's good.
Come on.
So I follow.
Okay. She lumbers through the swamp and clambers over a low tree as a small child would. And it begins to grow darker and darker until you're kind of in the midst of the swamp, and she kind of reaches into her satchel at her side as the bucket of snails is kind of sloshing around. She hands you the pail, and she pulls out a candle and lights it and begins walking through the swamp.
So I almost leave the bucket behind, but I don't want to go beyond the pail, so I bring it with me.
Okay, that's good. I'm not saying there's, any alliteration here. But... So, further into the swamp you go. Meanwhile, back in Sodden, you look toward where you had seen Gretel. Last time you saw Gretel, in fact, the last time you saw your friend, they went deeper into the swamp out here.
Unless
There's a bucket of snails spilled all across the ground.
That's right.
the last we left off, it was like mid-morning,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So have we progressed in time, or is it
Yeah,
still?
like progress in time. Why not? Okay, sure. Makes sense.
Right, because
Makes sense
it's
with the story
picked
right
up that bucket.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a bucket of snails lying in the middle of like this kind of low rise where you had scared Gretel before.
Yep.
Well done again.
Yep.
I think we all got chaos ranks that last session too.
Yeah.
We shot break every custom. Nonetheless, you know that last time you saw Pipistrella and Gretel, they were going that direction.
Well, I suppose we should track him down.
Yeah.
I think we should.
Did anybody think it was odd how little Gerd Adelard referred to Gretel? Did you notice that?
Yeah, was something that I kind of recognized as well.
We should find Pipistrella as soon as possible.
Do you remember that, Tomas?
Obviously.
It's a little hard to kind of determine if he...
He spoke much of the boy
Hans.
when we talked to Gerd, of the boy Hans, but when I would ask him about Gretel, and he seemed... I felt he seemed confused. I could be wrong. I don't know.
At one point he did say that Hans was Baron's like only son or only child, something like that, which we know by his account can't be true.
He's also out of his mind, but the absence of
That's
Pipistrella
right.
is somewhat
I mean,
down.
if he's been bedridden as long as he has, he doesn't have much memory of her.
Unreliable. Yep.
We should
Is-
probably still go find Pip.
Yeah, let's go find him.
Is there a clear path that we can see where they went, or can I start looking for signs of their passing?
You can actually look for signs of their passing. Go ahead and roll a survival test. This test is hard.
Ooh.
Lots of water and muck and reeds and overgrown grass
I'll
and
help
trees.
him. I'll help him look as well.
Yeah, add an assist die.
Push comes to shove, we know a Spillicin can cover a lot of ground very quickly.
This isn't a failure if you fail.
I got the best roll I possibly could. I got a 1.
Nice. So
Should have
the
a
good
6.
thing is that it looks like that as Pipistrella went deeper into the swamp, that some of the thorns along some of the low brush actually caught bits and pieces and frayed her clothing. So you managed to follow bits and pieces here and there until you start to see like where reeds had clearly been like folded over from them walking through. Now the water is not clear by any means. It's just kind of muddy and mucky. But you can hear the sounds of frogs the deeper you get into the forest, into the swamp.
My azimuth benefit us in any way here?
You can't see the stars right now.
It doesn't matter. I don't have to see the stars,
Sure about that?
even with clouds.
Is that what it says?
See stars. Oh, true north is with clouds.
Okay.
If I see stars, okay. Okay, never mind. Lies.
Yeah, the dying of the day. It is dusk.
We've been walking for a while, I think.
Eventually, she kind of comes to a stop, and the sun is not quite on the horizon. The light has not died from the sky, but she sits at the edge of this large, still pool of water, and she kind of finds a close stone, and she kind of pats this little wet stone and says, "Sit down with me."
Very well. Are we playing a game?
We're gonna We're gonna talk to my friend.
Do I get to know your friend's name before we're introduced?
His name is Ed. And at this point, you see the water starts to slowly burble. You see little bubbles coming up. It's Edwin! She stands and kind of waves her hand.
Yeah, now I remember.
And the water begins to burble as it comes closer, as it's kind of closing in toward you and her.
Pipistrella starts to like shuffle back.
Oh, it's okay, it's okay! She grabs onto your hand. Do you want to wrest it away?
I mean, she stands up.
He's a nice monster!
She stands up, but she like doesn't let go of her hand, but she does back up a little bit.
So you go.
She's not really showing bravery at this point.
You come to your feet and you stagger back, and she's like, no, wait. And the bucket of snails spill over into the water, and something kind of rushes beneath the water and muck. And keep in mind, the water's pretty muddy, so you can't really see what's beneath there, but you can see the motion of what is beneath of it, and you see the burbling of air, and then you see the snails are snatched out of the water by something, you're not really sure what, and the water just goes. He says hi.
Hello, Edwin.
Sit down. It's okay, I promise. He's not going to hurt you.
So she starts to sit down and just kind of nervously clutches the holy symbol in her chest and says a prayer internally, just trying to get through this, as she has no clue as to what's going on.
Okay. He says it's really dark out right now. He says it's a good thing we brought a candle.
I would agree. Should we light the candle so we can
Oh yeah!
better see?
Whatever's beneath the water goes quiet for a moment, and she pulls out kind of like a striker, like a piece of flint and steel and like a little safety pin, and lights it. And the water begins to burble, and you can see that the shape beneath the water begins kind of doing big circles around the pond.
Mm-hmm.
And the muck and the mud kind of been running in circles back and forth beneath the water. You can see the rivulets coming off of whatever is beneath the water, whatever Edwin is.
It's nice to meet you, Edwin.
He's been my friend for a really long time. He keeps me safe.
How long?
A while since my brother's gone. He said he'll be my big brother now.
Ah, did Pipistrella ever hear about the big brother?
You knew there was some other boy that went missing in Sodden. You suspect it's Hans.
Okay. Oh, Hans.
He says it's okay.
Okay. Well,
He says Hans is still gone, but he's gonna take care of me now.
that's good.
Are we close enough to hear any gurgling?
No.
Okay.
We're just searching away.
At some point or another, by the time the sun sets, you all can see what you suspect to be lights out in the swamp. Do you want to follow the lights?
Yes.
Lights plural? Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay. These little lights, almost like fireflies, are kind of slowly moving between the trees.
Do we want to follow these?
Does this
guys?
seem to be the same path, off the path that we were following of their passing?
Well, it's awfully dark out here. Does anybody have any light?
I do.
Not I.
I do not.
Before I flick this on and perhaps make myself like night blind here, can I perhaps get a better look at these lights or whatever might be holding these lights?
Sure. Go ahead and roll a challenging awareness test.
Challenging.
It's dark out there, but you can see the little flickers of what looks like candlelight moving between the trees, like somebody's walking. Perhaps.
That's not bad. 42.
You got it.
Nope. 96.
Oh, okay. Smite. No, my trailblazer's not gonna do much with this.
All right. Yeah.
Can I sneak up? Can
For the lights?
Can I sneak to the lights
Yeah.
to get a better look?
What about Tiberius and Toma? What are you doing?
Nothing in particular. I thought we were just going to follow the lights.
You want to follow the lights?
Yeah.
Okay.
Raise your hand if you want to follow the lights.
There's no
do,
reason not to.
I do.
Follow
what
also
says.
means sneaking up if you wish to pursue the lights.
I want to pursue the lights.
Okay. I need you to make a challenging resolve test.
Is this peer pressure?
Okay. So this will die. So it will be 52.
Oh no!
What'd you roll?
I don't want to talk about it. I rolled a 66.
Oh no!
Appropriate. Uh-oh, it says on the cover. Well, you begin pursuing the lights, and you notice that they're kind of like bounding out between the trees, and you're getting closer, but every time you seem to get closer, they seem to get a little further away. You notice the swamp is getting a little deeper, too, here and there, and you've completely lost the trail of where you had seen Pipistrella and the girl pass by. This is not the way they went.
I call out Pipistrella.
Okay. The lights wink out.
Oh.
I stop. That's not right.
I
Light a torch if you got it.
Copy that. I do. Yeah, I'll light a torch.
I'm not seeing any signs of their passage. I think we may have been led astray.
Okay.
But yeah, I do. I knew it. There's
Do you
kids.
hear that?
Yeah. I think we got a apple goblin here, guys.
So strange laughing out in the
Oh.
darkness somewhere.
God.
I'm gonna pull out my mace.
Yeah, definitely. Lantern in one hand, metal shield in the other.
Keep your head on a swivel.
I kind of am watching the backs of you. Like if you guys are all looking that way, I'm kind of keeping an eye behind the back of us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good plan.
I'll yell out to the laughter.
It's kind of all around you. What do you want to yell out?
Let's get back to
We
back.
don't
guys.
wish to. We don't wish to hurt anyone. We just wish to find our friend. If you could maybe help us find the trail back, perhaps.
From the darkness, a nice green rotten apple rolls right into your line of sight, covered in gnats and flies, swollen and brown like it's been rotting in the sun, just before your feet. All you need to make a hard resolve test to withstand fear.
Jesus. Okay.
It's my
Resolve!
Do this first.
I have this ability, not afraid of apples.
It's called I'm the Pie
You said
Eater.
hard?
Okay. Yeah, hard.
I'm good.
missed it. 62.
No.
Missed it.
We do have these fortune
I failed.
points if you want to use one.
I'm the only one that
Failed
passed.
as well. Yeah, I don't have a very good chance.
Okay.
They're right there.
Yeah, you can spend fortune points if you want to spend them right now.
I need to be brave for sure, Tomas.
Okay.
I will be brave for you, sir. No, even more afraid. In fact, I critically failed.
No!
Is it just on this side of the table?
I think
It
so.
feels like it's on this
I
side
think
of the
So
table.
those who failed,
Yep.
gain 6 corruption, and those who failed, not critically failed. Those who failed gain 6 corruption and suffer 13 mental peril. Those who critically failed, 21 mental peril and 9 corruption. As you can feel You can feel the hackles rise in the back of your neck. You can feel that growth in the pit of your stomach. You can feel your heart begin to hammer in your chest as you can as you're kind of on you're kind of scared.
I grab my Widowmaker and I have it ready.
Is this torch giving off any hint or sign of movement around us at all?
Torch? There's no torch out there.
Oh, the one he's holding.
I lit it.
Oh yeah,
torch.
it's oh yeah, absolutely. It's letting light out there.
Just no movement
Do we
that I'm
see
seeing at all.
Must be dancing on the edge of the shadows, or maybe they're behind a tree. I mean, consider this: if your torch casts like a nice flickering golden light, and there's all these trees, there's these long shadows that kind of shift and move with not only the flickering of the light, but your own movement as you kind of stammer to stand straight in the middle of the swamp, and that's why you're scared.
I take him by the shoulder, put them back to back. I take him by the shoulder and I put him back to back, and then I'm gonna go with my Widowmaker, make sure that they're all together, and I'm gonna go look for stuff.
You want to head toward where the laughing's happening?
Yeah.
It's happening all around you.
Yeah, I wanna head that way to the laughing.
That's a good way.
Yeah.
I would like to, if I was able to determine this at all, I don't know, any given direction or what I think where the apple like came in from, that direction, I would like to chuck my torch in that direction.
Okay. Roll an eavesdrop test. This test is going to be easy.
Jesus.
I have so many torches, I don't even care.
Oh, okay.
Eavesdrop, yeah, we got this. Oh yeah, we definitely got this. 47, I need 74.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
You throw the torch out there, and it thump hits a tree and falls to the ground. The sound dies down, and you see someone slip behind the tree.
SB?
That's where I go. I'm going there.
I point SB. If she's not already looking, I point SB immediately in that direction.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go to where the light is.
As you come around the tree, you hear the sound among the branches, and you look up, and these birds take off into the air.
Franklin?
But there's no one there.
No? Okay. Wait, is that his name?
Yeah, Franklin.
Damn it. It's not Franklin, guys.
As far as you know.
So what's slumped behind the tree?
There's nothing there.
Just nothing.
No.
I'm gonna pick up the torch. Is it still lit?
Yes.
I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna just start running around looking for shit.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to steal the resolve of the party. And it's just sounds and there's no danger. We'll be fine. There's nothing to be afraid of until it presents itself.
That's what the
Then we act.
So the Saint thought that there's no danger, and she certainly proved that incorrect. I think there's danger all around us, sir.
Meanwhile,
We're not like everyone else. Remember.
back at the pond,
Oh shit.
he says we're gonna be safe. They can't hurt us here.
Who is they?
Edwin says the apple goblins.
Oh, yes, the apple goblins, yes, of course. Pipistrella immediately starts to get a little more comfortable. Because even though there's this bubbling, roiling thing beneath her, you know, she kind of doesn't believe in the apple goblins yet. So the bubbling thing is weirding her out, but she kind of calms down a little bit.
You've seen Stranger Things.
Yeah. Yeah, all seasons of them, too.
Yeah. All four.
Yeah, so,
She says that the witch can't get us here.
what kind of a witch is she?
Well, Edwin says that she looks like a friar.
Really? I didn't know that people were religious in the Orthodox sense out here?
He says that the witch wears him like a coat.
Like she skinned the man?
Yes, I think.
That's atrocious.
Edwin used to be friends with the witch.
Well,
Then she got old.
okay. And the witch is after us, but Edwin's protecting us.
Oh, the witch wants all the children.
And you're a child, so,
I'm the only one left, she says.
well, then you can tell Edwin that I will try to protect you too.
She looks at the water and says the same thing that you just said. Almost literally parroting exactly what you say, but in her own little childlike words. And Edwin begins beneath the water, kind of encircling the pond once again, and simply disappears. The water ripples outward, and then the water is still. You all begin to approach the edge of a low lake where you can see Pipistrella in candlelight with a small girl, and they're holding each other's hands.
Yep.
Been looking for you, Pipistrella.
Oh, it's just us out here hiding from the apple goblins.
We might have just run into some apple goblins, but we don't know.
We didn't see any.
We didn't see any, but we sure heard them.
It's pretty spooky.
So we're thinking that they're real.
Yeah, we heard them.
There's evidence, at least. We saw that rotten apple tossed our way from the darkness, laughing with maniacal children.
I'd say they're very real.
Is it okay to cross the lake back to the shore?
I think we're fine. I know the way back.
Well,
It's real dark in the swamp.
thank you for your protection of us, Edwin. Like, the tone in her voice is like she's playing along with the game, but it's also halfway she kind of believes it too.
There's a
Who are you
splash.
talking to?
There's a splash in the water amid the reeds. There's a large bullfrog kind of beneath the water.
Was that Edwin?
No.
Oh.
No.
Wasn't that this? Gerd mentioned an Edwin,
That's right.
and that Edwin was talking to someone that we were concerned with as well.
The little girl looks up with her big doe eyes. Simple as she is.
Well, shall we? As I motion to cross the lake to where everyone else is.
Just a moment, as I approach a Pipistrella and put a large black belt around her shoulders. Nice.
Oh, Gerd used to wear that all the time. He killed a god, you know.
I heard the story.
It's
It's
lovely.
not a story, it's real.
I didn't say it wasn't.
Thank you for your kind gift. It's lovely.
There's like no reaction from the pond whenever he pulls out Laporte Noir's.
No.
Nothing. Okay.
Whatever was out in the pond, Pipistrella is now gone.
Yeah.
This should give you a modicum of protection against the witch, I hope.
Oh. Oh.
The witch is very pretty.
So this is something that, forgive me, it's been a bit.
So you've seen it?
This is something that we should ensconce amongst someone. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Well, perhaps we can make time for a ritual in a more civilized place.
Should we get out of here?
Walk and talk.
She is
Yeah.
very pretty.
You've seen you've seen her.
I've seen her once.
When?
She was in the village.
Why?
Who is she?
The witch.
Oh, yes. She says that she wears the skin of a friar.
She wears a very big cloak.
What was she doing in the village whenever she was there?
She was having words with the Baron, my dad.
How long ago was this?
Before my brother went missing, Hans.
Do you know what they spoke of?
Big words, scary words. My dad was scared.
Let's go back to the village.
I'm sure that's a good idea.
I could take you there.
Oh, who's your dad again?
That's Baron
The
Martel.
Baron Martel.
My dad is the Baron.
Oh, well, then you're very important.
That's what they say. My
Perhaps.
dad owns all the apple orchards. All of them. Pretty
My
much.
dad owns
Pretty
a car
much.
lot.
Dude, my dad owns a girl.
Perhaps we wait here for the night.
The whole night.
Here on the island.
Yes.
I
You said that there's a modicum of safety around here, right? This Edwin.
Edwin keeps us safe as long as we're right here. She points to the rock.
Certainly don't hear any laughing. You want to brave the dark again? As he kind of gives you a kind of a mean smirk.
Tiberius has been clutching his heart, by the way, the entire time. Ever since then, like I just kind of grasping a hold of it. Yeah.
That was Geralt of Rivia.
Oh,
What's she doing here?
Oh, thank God, Geralt.
Oh, thank God. This witch ain't nothing.
Have we got a quest for you?
Yeah, there's a hexer come to save us. I
Well,
I do appreciate the sentiment, but I am not much of a frontier girl.
I wouldn't sleep here. There's bugs, and they will get in your underwear,
There's no bed.
and the worms crawl in between your toes, and sometimes you get bugs in your nose. That's what happens to all the Martells.
Yes, I should only like that to happen to me when I'm dead.
Where did you hear that absolutely adorable rhyme?
My big brother once told it to me.
Hans.
are you sure we should stay
No.
out here tomorrow?
Perhaps
Brandon.
not.
Brandon. But you did have a brother named Hans, yes?
I do, but he was. Yeah.
Okay.
Worms crawl into your nose like worms in an apple.
Where'd Brandon go?
I do not like apples.
Well, what do you like?
Not apples. They make you sick.
Don't eat the apples. Wait, we ate a bunch of apple pie, didn't we?
What do you mean? What do you mean that the apples make you sick?
They make you sick, and then you fall asleep.
Is that a zipper?
Well, we
Oh, it's wind.
we may have the ability to make a small amount of escargot.
I'm torn if we should stay or if we should go.
Do you ever happen to wake up from this apple eating sickness?
And my dad told me that Fitzroy will not eat apples ever.
Well,
And I
If-
told
if-
my mom I don't want any either.
Tomorrow?
I'd say we, if we're not going to wait here, that we escort young lady here back to the village.
I can take you back.
No shilly-shallying.
That's right.
Let's go.
fair enough.
Let's go.
your journey through the swamp is brief in the sense that you move as quickly as you possibly can back through it until you emerge back into the village of Sodom. And I use the term village loosely, as you can only see you can see a few candles burning in a windowsill of a smaller looking kind of stone and thatch, not a hut, but a low home, kind of within the hill itself. There are surrounding homes around here, but there are no candles lit in the windowsills. It looks like perhaps there used to be quite a few people who lived here, but only the candles in Baron Martell's halls are lit. And by halls, I mean that one low building over there. That's the only home in Sodom you see with candlelight.
So even like girds the watermill dark.
Well, that's a little bit of ways away from here. It's near the pond itself. It's called.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But you can hear the distant kind of rattling of the water wheel.
Yeah, young lady, where does Fitzroy live?
I don't know. He just kind of comes and goes.
Do you know why Fitzroy doesn't eat the apples?
He doesn't like them?
Some more
Well,
questions.
off to bed with you,
Who-
as I nod to her.
I have one more question for you.
Okay.
Who arrived first, the witch or Fitzroy?
I don't remember.
Thank you, Gretel.
Well, thank you for taking the snail hunting with you.
It was a lot of fun. We should do it again sometime.
We should.
Okay. Good night.
Night.
Good night.
She pit pat through the muddy ground toward her father's house, the Baron's house, and she goes inside and then closes the door.
How long will it take for us to ensconce this pelt?
Just a few short minutes.
Okay.
Is there a ritual it is that?
Let's
1
take
hour.
Oh, 1 hour. Yeah.
let's take a moment. Let's take an hour to ensconce this cloak, and then
Seems like we have some more questions for the Baron, yes?
such as
He owns all the apples, yet Fitzroy doesn't want to touch them, his daughter doesn't want to touch them, and is said to not eat them.
Okay.
And if she doesn't know where Fitzroy lives, and it's not particularly in town, and we just got messed with pretty terribly by those apple goblins, I would very much like to know where Fitzroy lives.
Are you all still kind of nervous right now?
Thanks to impervious mind? No.
no, exactly.
Me, on the other hand, I look like I'm still pale white as a ghost, and hand over heart trembling.
You should probably do the ensconcement and take a rest so you can relax a bit.
Will, not the character, but Will has a question. What is ensconce?
That's
Ensconce.
yeah. It's how you basically. I'm trying to think of another word for it. But it's
Assign,
attunement.
activate.
Yes, it's attunement. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Well, would I know the properties of it at all?
You know the story, but you don't know the properties until it's probably. We'll assume that you do. Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, makes sense. I mean, why were you? Yeah, otherwise you would have no idea who to ensconce it to.
Yeah. So, well, I do believe that this would benefit me, but it should go to someone who is sickly. And so, while I'm not the strongest person I know or have seen, being exposed to so much, I have been able to deal with the dead for quite some time. And perhaps if someone does catch cold easily, or is prone to the bad pus, maybe they should wear it. And then if no one wants it, then I will surely take it.
Are we gonna get sick out here? Clovis says.
I don't think there's any danger of us catching cold.
Other than a bad heart,
You ever had the trots?
Oh yeah.
Well done.
We lived through it together. Remember that bad sausage that one night?
Yeah, that shit is real.
Well, if no one wants it, I will take it, but
Please do.
very well.
you are the youngest among us. I'm not that you're a child or anything, but
I'm not far from it.
perhaps the having that extra protection from a witch who desires young people may not be a terrible idea.
True. Very well. So I will begin the ritual of ensconcement.
I'll assist in any way that I can if that is the thing.
There is no role necessary for it. It's just you can describe what happens. What do we see?
So, Pipistrella. So, first off, our surroundings. We're in a small village, and are we inside a building or are we?
You're outside.
We're outside.
Yeah. You could return to the camp where Bastion is, an hour outside of Sodden, along the trail.
They had offered us a dwelling.
They
if we
did,
wanted
yeah.
To go into it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's small and cozy enough, but you know,
It's dark, I'm sure.
you can actually build a fire in here at least.
Are we staying here tonight, or are we going back to camp?
We should stay here.
We should stay here.
If that's what you think, that's fine. I was ready to brave the night again, but we can return on the morrow.
I will follow your lead.
Me
Let's
too.
wait. Let's wait.
It will be nice to check in with the camp, though. It's been a couple days now.
It's been a day. It's truly been a day.
It's been a day.
Why don't we ensconce it? Go fishing in the morning, bring some food back to camp.
Camp? You mean by camp? You mean Bastion?
Our guys.
I don't see the reason to do that. They can handle themselves.
I just figured it'd be nice to bring back some food for them.
Well, I don't want to tarry too long with this danger, imminent danger. It doesn't set right with me.
You all who failed their role to withstand terror.
But then I had a thing, so. But I did fail.
Double.
Yeah. Those who failed that test can't help but feel really down. Really down, in fact.
Well, I mean, we can and probably should eat this escargot before it turns into escarwent.
Nice.
Fair enough.
Nice.
I feel it would just spoil.
Well done.
That's precisely what I was saying. Yes.
Of course. Yes.
Or are you saying that it would turn your stomach?
I don't know what I'm saying.
If it would turn your stomach, perhaps we should put the pelt on you. And she touches your arm and says, "Oh, don't be silly. I'm merely jesting."
Tiberius jumps a hair at the Stroll's touch.
And as her arm starts to pull back, like you see it move unnaturally, and like she's constantly struggling with her own tendons. As lately she hasn't been moving as gracefully as she used to. As the reminder of reaching out to another god is with her now, as she has rigor mortis set in while she's still alive. And
Oh,
every
because
now-
you went like 3 or 4 deep, didn't you?
Yeah, it's a part of reaching out to other gods and being an auspice first, and then turning into an augur.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so every now and then there's like this snapping, and then she can move it for a little bit, and then it kind of comes back. So
Your
Stiffness.
fist of steel is becoming. You're good at punching.
yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
Well, I suppose I should get to it. As she lays the pelt out, and she gathers around the fire, and she starts to put a knife towards her hand, and then she goes, "This isn't a novella," and she cuts across her arm, and she lets some blood spill across the black pelt as she prays to the custodian to anoint this as a sacred remnant upon her person.
So you can. So the way the sacred remnants work is that you can ensconce one. If you're in basic tier, you can ensconce. You have 2 ensconced, intermediate, and 3 in advanced.
But there's a fun consequence.
There sure is.
Yes, once a sacred remnant is ensconced to a person, they move 1 step down the damage condition track negatively, down to lightly wounded for me.
Okay.
So,
Will you all choose to rest here for the night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
How are you guys
one
feeling? Like,
thing.
yes. Sorry.
Yeah, so you seem awfully troubled.
It's just, it's been a trying couple of days.
Yes, I have something for that. If you trust me enough now.
What do you have?
I can offer you a night of peaceful rest.
I'll watch over you.
So you won't sleep
If
tonight?
you will look.
I don't trust you, but I'll protect you.
A night of peaceful rest is
Everyone else, too.
I don't know what that would even look like anymore.
You
Well.
should do it.
You should find out.
I'll keep guard.
Does it involve? And kind of looks at the where the blood had been like let from your arm. Does it involve?
No, merely having to enjoy or put up with the smell of jasmine incense. It depends on how your nose favors it or unfavors it.
You see, like Tiberius sort of looks off into the middle distance for a second as you say Jasmine, and he just sort of like he's being hit by like a very distant memory, and he just goes, "I seem to remember liking Jasmine. We will try this your way.
Very well.
Can't be any worse than." And Gage just falls on the mandolin of memory, and then Gage just comes back to you.
Will you cast the spell?
Play a
Yeah,
little
so
music
I
for you
start,
if you
I
like.
start burning jasmine incense as I cast the spell of restful dreams.
Okay.
And so the dreams of your intended soothe and calm them for the night, and it requires an incantation test.
Routine.
Routine, and so this time she will not channel power.
I pray to thee, custodian, not thee, gods beyond.
Yeah.
The gods of beyond the inferno.
As the last time she did that, she got a permanent reminder that she is the custodian's and no one else's. So,
Belong to her.
an incantation, I have 1 rank in, so that routine, that will be 76. And 39 will succeed.
Nice.
And so what happens, the effect is a number of allies equal to your fellowship bonus, so all 5 of us can fall asleep in total serenity. Whenever they go to sleep within the next 24 hours, allies recover their peril condition track to unhindered upon awakening, even if in an unsafe place.
And you are in an unsafe place.
What?
I'm keeping watch.
Well, I can't do anything about that, but I can at least
Well,
help
you're not
us
staying up
recover.
all night. But you are certainly switching watches.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
If
yeah.
you want to stay up all night, you can do that. You can do that.
Not recommended.
I don't need much sleep, but I do need a little bit of sleep.
We will be.
We
You
got
need
it?
6 hours every night.
I do?
Absolutely.
Everybody.
Shit. You want to take... I'll take the first
I
if you
had
take
the
the second.
same thought.
Okay. Yeah, we'll split the watch.
So you,
Um,
you both want to sleep for the night, though, at least? You want to get good rest tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we were just gonna
Okay.
take shifts if that was at all possible
Yeah,
throughout the night.
absolutely.
And then, really quick,
There's
I'm
a
so sorry.
smile
Yeah.
on his face, though. Okay.
I had a quick Dave question.
Yeah.
Guillaume has impervious mind, so if I go down the peril track or like I failed,
Yep.
it doesn't affect me. but I did fail, so I feel down, right? Guillaume feels down because I
You
failed.
still failed the test.
I still failed the test, so
Yeah.
I feel okay. Cool, thank you. Just wanted to double
Yes,
check.
that's right.
Cool.
You took the corruption, but you just didn't go down the corruption
Who
track.
gained corruption?
Again, so much corruption.
So, speaking of Jasmine,
Oh God.
Oh, he's gonna show us a whole new world.
Oh,
Unbelievable sight.
there is a. You can feel the weight of something on you. The weight of metal, the clanking of steel. Around you, Tiberius, there is a vanguard of Mercadian knights. You stand before this old chapel. You can feel the grip of the mason hand. Old Tiberius, she's inside.
Aye.
Your orders?
Take her.
The doors of the chapel burst open, and you can see that there's this low light coming from these candelabras among this throng of people, this flock of the young and the old, children, men, and women, as you hear the screaming and the yelping of folk as this throng of Mercadian knights go in, swords drawn, and begin bring the people low with the slaughter. As you walk inside, the floors wet with blood. There is a woman held between two of the Mercadian knights' clutches in their hands. "Let me go!" she screams. You can see her golden hair. You can see the blood washed across her clothing. It's the saint. The next morning comes as those who gained corruption feel a spiritual weight that will weigh heavily upon them for 11 days. You all are now officially suffering, for those who failed, are suffering from mortal sorrow. It is a spiritual disease. When you awaken, you need to attempt a standard result test. You all recovered to an enter, by the way.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Standard resolve.
What's the name of that spell that you cast?
Restful Dreams.
Lies.
I mean, the custodian is captured, so
Success.
You know,
61.
Success.
Yeah, success.
So, should you fail, so every morning you awaken for the next 11 days, you must resist mortal sorrow. If you fail, you gain one additional corruption anytime you gain corruption during that time. The hauntings of the children of the wood, the apple goblins, like weighs upon your soul. You can see that they did rest easily, but there is a from your perspective, from the Pipistrella, they seem spiritually divided.
Not me.
Except for our bird friend.
You can't see nothing through my mask.
do you feel any?
Oh, this was probably not, but did Mir still said at any point throughout the night, kind of trading shifts, just kind of looking out, see anything odd or weird throughout our kind of trading shifts?
Nothing any more unusual what you had seen in the swamp. Just a sense of discomfort. But you rested well, at least.
Okay.
You were all lulled into sleep with the jasmine incense that filled the hovel, almost like it was like a enrapturing smell as you kind of inhaled it inside, and it lulled you to sleep as you were all drugged by Pipistrella.
Thanks, Pip.
But it was a magical drug.
The best kind of drugs.
She's the party mage.
Very
It's perhaps
specialized.
So you all awake at this point.
Mackenzie.
Right, you guys ready to go?
Bastion, then go find a witch.
Ashton.
I did not mean to.
Did we want to check in on them today?
What do you mean?
I think they're just fine.
About
Sounds
the-
like a plan to me.
just dreams.
Well, the dreams is how the custodian speaks to us, but seeing as how she is captured. who's to say how it all works now?
I don't know that I very much am ready to hear what the custodian has to say if that is how they choose to communicate.
Well, it's not up to me to choose when the custodian communicates to you under normal circumstances. I suppose what is up to us is whether or not we can save her. It's like her grasp on reality, like she will not listen to any other theory other than the custodian was actually captured.
Right.
Go ask some more questions, or we go out hunting? What do you say, boss?
If you want to go ask questions, you may. I don't feel the need to.
You're the boss.
Please, if it would calm your mind, I would like you to.
So, what happened while I was playing with the child and hunting snails?
We spoke to the armsman, Kurt Adelard, regarding what has become of this witch.
Adelard, all the way out here.
You're familiar?
Well, I don't know the first name, but I know the family name. They were wiped out.
Well, not to a man, I guess. But if that's the case, then I suppose the line dies here.
If you have any smelling salt left, we could go talk to him some more.
I think we've gleaned everything we can from him. I'd rather not
It's very dangerous.
pester a man in repose such as he is.
Smelling salt?
Brings him to reality for a minute or
Shattered.
two.
Oh,
But he's had a lot.
His
So
mind
much
is
that-
shattered. It's taxing.
well, I mean, it's a tragedy of the family. I suppose it's no different out here.
He spoke of the witch's shape-changing abilities. The wearing her skin like a cloak, as it were. He spoke of a friar form that she takes.
Also spoke of looking into a pool and speaking to someone by the name of Edwin.
Ah, yes. Edwin.
He had traced this witch who was wearing a friar skin to this pond.
What was the friar's name again?
Clevenger.
Or
Well-
Clevenger.
Are you sure it's
Clevenger. Yeah.
Clavinger or Claviger?
Clevenger.
That's my surname.
Well, apparently he was an old friend of Gert's,
And that
which is why it kind of threw him off that he was just kind of out in the woods.
That's precisely who I'm looking for.
You may have found what was left of him then.
I don't know that I would trust if we were to meet them here, in this place.
So, the friar that was skinned was my uncle, my great uncle.
Oh.
Still
Sorry.
yourself. Not everything's as it seems.
I suppose so. Yes, it could be that that was merely some form of illusion, but
A trick is not an illusion.
Michael.
I'm,
Money.
I'm going to prepare myself.
That's his
that,
dooming.
That's true.
That's why I said it.
But does she know that that's your doing?
No.
Okay. I'm going to prepare myself as, well, he was old when he came to Galleon. I assumed I would find how he perished, and so I am going to keep myself assuming that. And if that's not the case, then, well, it's good news.
Today we march for battle. Gird yourselves with armor. Arm your weapons. Lick your wounds. We
Yes.
march.
Good call, as she is lightly wounded.
As am I.
I shan't have you leave in such a state, Beatrix says. Remember, she accompanied you here.
That's
the
right.
Bookbinder.
That's right.
She is there in her long blue robes.
Do you have any ability to bandage wounds?
I can cast magic and heal everything, she says, her eyes widening. I jest. I do not. I have one use of one such limb. She shows her arm. But I have brought laudanum.
Yeah.
Simon suspected things would go sideways here.
Well, I have but one bandage. And I once did see a physician that told me I had a melancholic temperament, so I do my best to try and hide it, but it would take two for them to work on me.
So Beatrix will give each of you 2 laudanum and 2 smelling salts.
2 laudanum, 2 smelling salts.
I'm afraid, however, I cannot help with bandages. And keep in mind that if you have a bandage, you can automatically heal to unharmed from
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, it requires no roll.
Okay, so I think I'll use the one bandage on me so that we have 2 laudanum instead of me horking 2.
To be fair, you could anyone could technically tear a strip of cloth off their clothing and bandage themselves, but there is a risk for infection. But you will heal automatically to unharmed.
Yeah.
It requires no roll to move from lightly wounded to unharmed, providing you have a bandage.
What's the
Don't we need
risk?
the honey? I'm sorry, this is Dave talking. Do we
to
need
make
honey?
them.
Correct.
What's the risk?
Infection. You roll 1d6. You roll a 6. Your wounds are infected.
That's what the honey does.
Yeah,
is
so would
blocks
there
your infection.
be any chance of us maybe going to speak to the one remaining house in Sodden and raiding their larder, or perhaps trading for some honey?
Well, the wife of Gerd, the frog wife, also seemed to know a bit about medicine. She and I spoke a bit about the smelling salts. Perhaps also she'd have some.
Which is, yeah, I mean, that would be just fine either way. But
Not that she'd be willing to part with it for the likes of us, but
Of course, if they did have an apiary, it would make sense why they have so many apple trees.
That's what I wondered when we first came into the thing.
Let's-
There's got to be.
Let's speak briefly
Be
with the
some-
Baron, see if we can
Right.
procure some honey, and if not, let's move on.
agreed.
You rejoin the man outside of his hovel, this fellow with a spade-shaped beard and fairly well fed, and he wears what would resemble the nicest clothes you may find here. There's a couple creases in it. But the, whoa, good morrow to you.
That's right, Soddenite.
Good morrow, Baron.
Do you have any?
Colonel tells me you went swamping last night with her to fit the snail.
Yes, I accompanied her to gather some snails.
Oh, it is very kind of you. She's a bit touched since her brother disappeared.
Oh yes, well, I didn't seem to notice, as she tries to keep a straight face. She says,
that's not
"In
true.
what way is she touched, if I may ask?"
Oh, she talked to the wood now. She very, very strange sometime. My wife, Gertrude, believes she hit her head too big when she small. But her brother was never good with her when she was little.
Ah, sibling rivalry.
Brendan was a dunderhead.
Well, sometimes it happens.
Wait. No less! Apple pie! He says,
Oh,
smiling.
no.
We
Thank
haven't
you.
the time to tarry this morning.
Oh.
We aim to make an excursion down the old apple trail to meet with a certain someone.
You then go down the trail. None of you are children who cannot take the pig.
Yes.
Gretel said that sometimes somebody comes back up the trail and has a conversation with you. Is that part of the adult mind? She mentioned that the witch has been here before and spoken with you.
Oh, yes. She came here one night in the middle of the full moon. She looked like she covered in gossamer stars. She walked in, we see her from distance. She come inside. That's when we know she been watching us. That's when she reminded us of the promise.
There's an argument of some sort, or
Uh-huh.
or something that caused you fear, said Gretel.
She demand the black pig be brought to her every season. Le Porc Noir's brood, the piglets. I say, what of my son, what of my daughter before? And she say, they shall be fine. We keep safe this way, but southern, not so much.
Do I get the impression he's holding anything back this time from the conversation?
Probably not. Very unlikely at this point. You kind of broke him.
We
Specifically, a spell set broke him.
we aim to head that direction. However, we wanted to prepare ourselves for a fight.
You want to prepare yourselves for a fight.
We
Why would you fight the witch? Have you not listened to what Greta Lard say about her?
I'm hard-headed.
She say, you say, is she naked and cannot be hurt?
Wait. When she's naked, she cannot be hurt.
Gertzy, I do not know. I'll just say, you going to kill the witch? I don't know what to tell you.
More than anything, completely not part of that at all. We were just looking for honey in particular.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Baroness Gertrude, she keepeth the bees.
Ah, wonderful. We could perhaps trade or barter for.
You are going to go to march to your death down the Apple Lane Trail. I'll give you only. It is the least I can do for you to go to die.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Much obliged.
Appreciate that.
You'll get a 2 volumes of hunting, so it's 2 bottles, which you can produce 18 bandages out of the straw.
Yes.
Can anybody with the with training in the heal skill do that?
Yes.
Oh, so could I.
Yes.
With a skill rank and heal.
Oh yeah, so you and I would be able to both be able to heal.
Are you a bless you guy or a gazoon type guy?
Dealer's choice. I'm just happy that somebody acknowledges that I sneeze sometimes.
Okay. This is the sign for bless you, but I always say bless you because I'm atheist, so bless you. Or gazoon type.
You would think that you can bring this witch low. His eyes gonna narrow, looking Lord Tomal, genuinely curious.
That or die trying.
Wait.
The witch takes other forms, is what we've been told.
What?
The witch takes other forms.
What'd she take?
The form of the friar.
She wear the skin.
Yeah. My question for you on that, when she visited you, was it a form that you recognized? Was it a face that you knew?
No. She come from the moon.
She was filled with starlight and constellations. Is that was his description of her?
Wait.
Yeah.
I didn't know if perhaps her face bore any resemblance to someone you may have known at any point.
He shakes his head. I had never seen this witch until I became Baron.
When the witch arrived, or you first heard of the witch, how long after or before did the cobbler arrive?
I don't remember. Honestly, he's been here for a while.
Last session, I believe we went 2 years. He's been here for 2 years.
What?
I believe the conversation we had over the bonfire said he was here for 2 years.
It's but 2 years, a long time ago.
Fair enough. Certainly this deal with the witch has been longer than that.
Wait.
Yeah.
Well before I become the keeper of Southern.
That's right, because the previous Baron had said to keep, yeah, that's right.
Well, off to our deaths.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, and again, just last real quick question. Where does Fitzroy live?
Oh, he comes and goes.
Okay.
He stays on the edge of Poil.
He keeps a safe distance from the pigs, just in case.
Why does Fitzroy not eat apples?
You don't like them.
All right.
Sometimes
At first, I
cigar is
think
just a
I'm
cigar.
trying to insult my wife cooking. I say, Fitzroy, why not eat apple pie? And he's like, I don't like apple pie. So Fitzroy, big man, big personality, big mustache. I say, maybe just peculiar. He outsider. I don't think of it again.
As you shouldn't.
All right, well, that's all I had.
Well,
Prepare these bandages and be on our way.
Yeah.
yes, let's set to it. We have 2 bottles.
Preparation takes just a bit of time as you prepare the bandages and let them dry as gnats begin to buzz around them. But you fold them up carefully and place them inside your satchel. Who's carrying the bandages?
Nothing new.
I'll
I
take one to
I
use.
suppose we could split them at least.
Because
Yeah,
remember, 9
that's-
items equals 1 encumbrance.
Yeah.
So, did you prepare them all or just one? bottle?
I prepared 1 jar. I mean, it's
Okay.
did you prepare your jar?
Oh, I didn't know you gave me one of the jars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll prepare my jar then.
There's
Okay.
18 bandages.
So I will take one of those to use right now.
What's up?
How does encumbrance limits like fluctuate? How can I get more encumbrance, or how do I lose? Like I know how
Brawny.
Get more brawny.
more
more
bra-
brawn
Oh,
bonus, yeah.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Yep. In the more you carry, you
Bandage.
reduce your initiative, you
Oh,
reduce your movement, and you
17,
reduce
yeah.
your distance with ranged weapons.
Because I'm
No.
maxed out.
He said
Well,
18,
you can
I think-
exceed that.
I think it's 18.
Right. I saw
No,
that.
right, which
That's
would
the
mean I have
overage?
9.
Yeah.
You just handed me
Okay.
Are
one
you
more.
suffering overage at this
Oh,
point?
And it's
No,
17.
I'm
Yeah,
not
I
quite
get
there
you.
yet.
At the point
Yeah.
where you suffer
I
overage,
get you.
you reduce your initiative,
I've got
your
9.
movement, and your range with
I-
3
distance
each
with
would
ranged
just
weapons.
be fairly
Okay.
If any of it reaches 0, you have to drop something.
Or just do that.
You're just carrying way too much. It's not too
Gotcha.
heavy, it's just
Sure.
encumbering.
Okay.
And I think we collectively know the difference between like heavy stuff and encumbering stuff,
Mhm.
right?
There's enough bandages here that everyone could have 3.
Okay.
For
I'll
nice
take-
even number.
okay.
And 3 of those will go to Clovis. I'll write that down on my sheet to give
Sure.
Clovis 3 bandages. Clovis, 3 bandages.
And if it's a good time to pause.
Let's do that. Let's kind of coming back in at this point. You've prepared your bandages. You've properly split them between yourselves. What do you want to do from here? Do you want to head down the Apple Lane Trail?
Mm-hmm.
Any other preparations you want to make?
I'm good.
I'm gonna drop something for my.
So you don't
How
have
are
to carry
you?
as much.
You suffering from overage?
Yes, I am. I'm going to drop either my leather or my bronze shield.
You're carrying 2 shields?
No, I got 1 shield.
Okay. I was about to say.
What do you want to drop?
I'm gonna drop my leathers.
Your leather armor?
Too soon.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna drop my shield.
On the first date?
I'm gonna drop my bronze shield.
Okay. Yeah. So that's probably good. Overage. It sucks, but you know, sometimes. Any other preparations you want to make?
I don't think so.
Now you know that the direction Baron had pointed you of the apple tree trail kind of winds its way around the pond and deeper into the swamp, and it's also where the trees grow sweepingly tall. So it's actually fairly discernible in the swamp. So you begin to head that direction.
You got plenty of torches, right?
Yeah, we're good on torches, and I got a lantern as well.
Which tend to need to be burned.
Does anyone else?
That's a good point. Yeah, if we can't stab her, we're gonna have to figure out some other particular way of dispatching.
Does anyone else find it odd that Fitzroy lives by himself on the other side of the lake?
I'll be honest, Tiberius, I find all of this incredibly odd.
I think all
Literally all
these
of it.
folk are odd, and I don't question it too much.
Right.
no idea what's going on in the background of that. That's kind of weird, but not really what I want to accomplish here. So we'll do this one instead. You begin following the trail through the woods, and the apple trees grow pretty tall around here amid the mangroves. Like, it almost seems unnatural how these deciduous trees can grow in such a dank, hot, wet, swampy area. And if you recall what Gerd had said, he said it took about midday to sundown to reach where the ironwood tree was. And I also seem to recall that Lord Thomas and Tiberius are both wearing heavy armor. It's awfully hot out here. Both you need to attempt challenging toughness tests to withstand physical peril.
I now look at that cloak and
47.
But it's not the rules.
I'm gonna re-roll.
Oh, you enemy of misfortune here? I'll take that, please.
You know, you could have ignored it.
I still failed.
I succeeded.
Okay. Well, those who fail will gain or suffer 10 physical peril along the path out here. Eventually, although the trees grow smaller and have been plucked free of all their apples, there's rotten apples all along the ground, marking the way here. And that kind of rotten smell of apples and the buzzing of gnats and flies around here kind of fills the air, as even though you're surrounded by these grand deciduous trees in the middle of the swamp, the entire path smells rotten and sour.
I'll strike up a pipe just to kind of keep the gnats at bay, but I also want to imbibe some tobacco.
Yeah. Okay. You're really cool, tobacco. Gamble and corruption.
And that puts me back up to unhindered. Right?
It's not.
What does tobacco do
That's
again?
coffee. Tobacco makes you look cool in social situations.
Cool.
So, tobacco, it is on your red book under drugs.
Tobacco.
I believe it's on page 67, I want to say? Yeah. Tobacco. Gain plus 10% to charm, intimidate, and rumor test for an hour.
Okay.
But if you suffer stress, fear, or terror, you must use additional tobacco or gain 3 corruption.
Okay.
You know, somebody looks cool smoking a cigarette, charm. You look badass, intimidate, and you're really good at having, like, the conversations with the other smokers. It's for rumor.
I love it. This,
Yeah.
this it's true. Entirely true.
It's all true. Smokers, man. So you go a little deeper into the swamp, and like I said, the whole trail here is just rotten. And eventually, by the time you came here, probably about early, it's not quite sundown, but it's toward dusk. The trees, you notice, are actually festooned in places with these long ribbons of cloth, strips of cloth that have seemingly been soaked in something, maybe wine, maybe something else.
Can I go and...
And they're tied around all these trees here and there along the trail as to not get lost.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, Guillaume's still gonna go take a look at those bad boys real fast.
Yeah, it's these strips of ragged cloth that look like they've been soaked in wine or mud or maybe even blood.
Gotcha.
But it's not reddish, they're kind of brownish.
Aged. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Guillaume is unfortunately very familiar with aged blood. So.
They kind of flutter a bit in the wind, and the rotten apples are everywhere here. And the trail is very, very clear, for as you look further down into the swamp, as it winds deeper within, you can see similar trees festooned as such. If you look off the trail, there's this deep, thick swamp, no telling how deep it is, but you can see moving atop the water every once so often, and you can see large mangrove trees growing out of it, kind of rising toward the sky. And that is, of course, where the sun is setting to the west.
Would we be able to tell from where we started to where we are now, if we moved ever, like, at any point closer to Poil? Or is this just farther
Farther beyond
west.
Poil, beyond the pond, deeper within the swamp. Yeah, you're pretty far in at
Gotcha.
this point. It's
Okay.
been about 4 hours or so.
Okay. Copy.
Yeah.
Some children out here by themselves.
That's
At some point, just off the trail, you can see what looks like a little clearing. And although the trees are still festooned with the soiled bits of strips of cloth further down, there's a little clearing. And along that clearing, you can see what looks like the old hollowed out petrified tree. Its branches have long since collapsed and disintegrated, but the tree itself rises about 8 feet high and is hollow inside, and it is petrified as hard as rock. The rock looks blackish.
I'm assuming all the ribbons kind of, or cloth, strips of cloth kind of stop here, huh?
They stop here, but they continue further down the trail. But you do notice that tied around the tree is this old, thick, frayed rope around the trunk of it. Very old, very frayed.
I'm gonna go take a look at that as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna go approach that tree.
It looks like a big, thick rope that's used to tie off hogs.
Yeah, I was gonna ask it. I mean, frayed at the ends. Is like a clasp. Is there? Is
There's a
just
little
noose?
little noose along the end
Okay.
where you tighten it up, a little shipping noose, whatever you call that.
Gotcha.
Before the tree clearly died, was this an ironwood tree?
It looks like it, yeah. No, the other trees around here are mostly mangrove trees. This tree looks very much out of place, much like the apple trees.
What's inside the hollow? Can I? It would have to climb up to see.
Climb inside if you want.
Just get more look into it.
It's a little taller than that. You want to climb up and look inside?
I do.
You kind of crawl inside, and the higher you get toward the top of the trunk to look down inside the hollow, you realize there's kind of this really rotten smell coming out of it. Are you sure you want to look inside?
Oh boy.
I should have.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yep.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. As you kind of come to the top and kind of bring your hands to the rim of where the tree is actually hollowed out and kind of rises along the other side, you kind of peek down, and there's like these carcasses of animals that are rotting inside of it. And they're buzzing with flies, and the smell is so arresting to your senses. You need to make a routine resolve test to not fall. Sorry, routine toughness test to not let it get the better of your stomach and fall down.
I'm kind of watching this whole thing. If he looks like he's about to fall, I'm going to try to catch him.
Sure.
Ooh.
I'll take that.
Oh boy.
I mean, you know,
I'm good.
it's only 3 yards.
Nice.
You withdraw, and you can see his face turn sour. It's rotten. Like they've been piling up. Whoever has been piling up carcasses of animals in here for quite some time. It's crawling with maggots and flies. It's absolutely disgusting. It's revolting.
What do you
What'd you
spy
see?
up there?
Animal carcasses, a fair amount of them. Not enough to fill the tree to the brim, but a significant amount. They're rotting, the maggots everywhere.
Fascinating.
Amongst them, I'm not sure how much time looking at it my resolve test bought me, but did I...
Toughness test.
Toughness, my apologies. Was it all animals?
Maybe you want to go down there and root around in it?
No, I don't want to do
I
that.
think animal carcasses do you, but there's no telling.
Let's take another look.
Yeah.
No, I was kidding.
I was gonna say if it's not working out for you, Tiberius, I can always take a gander.
I
You're more
think.
than welcome to.
What exactly are you looking to find?
Oh, human bones in particular, or something that would perhaps look like a friar's frock, or anything of that nature.
We know the witch is guilty.
take
There's no reason that we need to cement her.
Right.
Her-
Maybe we
her
just
guilt.
take a moment and look around. As
Fair enough.
bodies inside of a tree, a rope, look like it would tie something off. This is either a slaughter pit or perhaps some sort of ritual.
Right. So no need to investigate anymore. Let's move on. See?
Fair enough, boss.
Look at all the garlands that way. It clearly the witch's house is that way.
Well, no, I'm not saying that we should move on. I'm saying that we at least have some idea.
Oh.
Perhaps we could glean more as to what this ritual is.
Again, if she
it ain't right, is what it is. It's unholy. It isn't in line with the custodian or any other god I know of.
Right, and I understand where you're coming from. I will say one more thing, and if you are still of the same mind, I will forget it.
Around here, they worship pigs.
Yes, and when it comes to matters of the Hermosty, which I had no idea existed for real until recently in my life, knowing more about them gives you more ways to put them back where they belong.
Again, I just did want to bring up the whole idea that her skin cannot be pierced by steel. So just understanding and getting a little more knowledge may not be the worst thing. That's all I would suggest. We are flying out here by the seat of our own pants, boss.
My mind is empty and clear of knowledge of the Hermosty, and I prefer it that way. If you want to sully your mind with such things, and you think it would protect the group, I encourage you to do so. But
You give me a boost.
I fear this knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely.
The smell is absolutely revolting, but you manage to kind of look down as your eyes are still kind of watering as you're looking down inside, and it looks like animal carcasses, like they've been pitching animals into here. In fact, you can see that you can actually kind of near the edges of the tree, you can actually see little handholds that have been carved into this. That very little handholds.
Yeah.
Small handholds.
Oh,
Size for a child.
yeah. I mean, a little too small for me, but not that small for me.
That's right. Yeah. As you kind of look down, I mean, as best you can, it looks just like carcasses of animals.
And then as I start to take it in, for some reason, all I can really smell is the smell of that pelt.
Yeah.
I don't need to.
Rotted, matted, gnat-ridden, buzzing with fleas. The itchy black pelt that she wears. And it's, to be clear, the pelt of La Porte Noire, it is not the smooth sable you would expect. It is mangy and matted and cut irregularly. It looks like something you would imagine, like if you read the novellas of Lyndon C. Genevieve, Champion of Tradegate, that he would write about barbarians from the North wearing.
Gotcha.
I like to imagine that this entire cloak is really just the horror fantasy equivalent of pinching yourself when something else hurts. Just to divert attention.
Yeah,
It's not that it's better, it's that you just have this to distract you.
You know, that rope down there, does anybody have any other rope?
There's no rope down there. The rope is tied around the bottom, the trunk of the tree.
Yeah.
Like this is where they tied the pigs off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one for you, Pip.
The-
I do have 20 feet of rope.
okay. Well,
You have 20 feet of rope?
I'm sorry, 10 yards of rope.
Okay, so you're carrying 10 encumbrance? Every yard of a rope is 1 encumbrance.
Every yard of a rope is
Yeah.
Yes.
one. Wait, yeah. So wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3. So my movement. Sorry. Oh, I've been carrying this.
Yeah, so there's a few
while.
exceptions to the normal rule. When you carry provisions, it's always 1 encumbrance for 1 day of provisions. And if you are carrying rope, because rope is heavy, it's 1 encumbrance per yard of rope.
Per yard of rope.
we're not talking modern day rope.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's not like a spool of rope. It's like rope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, if you bought a really expensive rope, that'd be different. But yeah, so
I need to fix that then in terms of my movement stuff.
do you want to trim your rope while you're here?
Yeah, might as well.
You can trim it off and lower it down in the tree trunk if
Yeah.
she wants to really root around inside the trunk.
So I'm gonna go ahead and trim that off.
You climb
Flash
down.
around and
Rotten apples, bones, fur, viscera, maggots, flies, worms, ants, anything that you'd find, beetles, anything you find down the trunk bottom of the tree is kind of rooting around in here. It's nothing more than just some pit of where whatever these apple goblins are eating, they put in here with whatever's remains.
And are any of these bones human?
No.
Okay. So this little wimple-covered head pops up, blood all over.
Have you seen Evil Dead? It's the black blood.
Except it seems unusually cheerful, or not cheerful, but just like in her element.
Unfazed.
Yeah. And she says, "Nope, no human."
Well,
That's
that's
a relief.
That's a relief, I guess.
I pull out my yellow tabard and I just like dab one little spot on your face like it's gonna help. There you go.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Like still, like Dragon Age,
Yeah,
covered in
Yeah.
blood.
but I got that one spot.
Yeah.
All right. What do you
Perhaps
want to
a,
do, Toma?
perhaps a quick dip in any random puddle would be in order.
You smell great.
See?
The
I was being sarcastic.
scent is odious, pungent.
Mm. Well,
Please,
perhaps,
bathe.
perhaps I should bathe or imbibe an unguent for this pungent smell.
Or maybe you should roll a standard toughness test to resist disease.
I don't need to.
That's right.
Boom.
No
Pork
morsel for
noir.
you. No morsel for you. That's right.
Boom.
Why would a witch need Marcus to her own home?
Maybe she likes decorations.
Or maybe it's because she has her own personal army that we are walking directly into, that she has transformed and cursed over time.
Well, sure.
And then they need to figure out how to get to him.
All right.
That's my only guess at this point, because my guess would be that the trail would stop here. Why would it continue forward? Why would she mark her own house? Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's an odd thing, but that's my only guess.
This isn't the only thing we have to go off of. We're at the end of the trail of information that we've been given.
Right.
And there does
So
not seem
from
to
here on out, it's all inference.
there is no silver bullet, and that's what we were kind of hoping for. So
The trail
Crossbow bolt.
that continues on.
There's
Does
bullets.
it go
Yeah.
deeper and seem like it's going deeper into? Okay, but not
Oh, yes.
not like turning towards Poil or anything that we can see. Okay.
You're 4 hours away from Poil
Yeah.
and Sodden.
Okay.
You're far beyond the pond. You're deep in the swamp.
Sure. I don't know if there's
And
just
we're-
like another apple path from Poil.
we're getting towards dusk. Is that the deal?
Yeah.
What do you say, boss?
Well, let's continue.
Keep moving.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Yeah, so I trimmed that down to 5 yards of rope. By the way.
We've got
Good to know
five-
that rope ain't gonna come loose anytime
We've got
soon.
5 yards left for a hanging.
Just enough rope to hang myself with.
Witchy.
You know, I'm always about, just enough. Just enough. Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, you begin heading down this trail.
Hmm.
The sounds of the swamp kind of fade away as you find that the earth kind of slowly rises among the dirt. The waters, the swamp left behind, the trees continue along the way, kind of intermingling to a thicker forested wood, unlike the swamp before. But it is unusually absent of other sounds, like birds, or the rattling of limbs of trees, or even wind. The apples here grow large and red and juicy and inviting. The trees are still festooned with these strips of cloth. You don't want an apple along the way?
No.
I'm good. Okay. The trail kind of winds its way, and now you're under lantern light or torchlight? I'm sorry, it's dusk. It's dusk, so you
It's
don't
still
need
dusk.
anything. Yeah. It's just, at this point, it's light obscurement, one can say. When in these sort of conditions, you cannot lend nor give assist dice unless you're aided by light.
Okay.
The apples are they still rotted here? on this
No, not at all.
They're
They're
beautiful.
large and
Big and
juicy
pretty.
and inviting. No smell of rotten apples here at all. The trees grow virulent here.
I will pick one, but I won't eat it.
You want to climb a tree?
Oh, I didn't know if there's any that maybe.
Yeah,
I should
these
go
are
with
big
that.
trees with broad branches. Like the trees, in fact, these apple trees look unusually large. They've been here for a very long time.
Giants.
Like they've not been harvested.
That's right. This isn't like you're going apple picking like a bunch of hipsters in North Kansas City. No, these are big, old, big apple trees that look unusually large. Not the apples, but the trees themselves. You can climb one very easily. It's just never within easy reach.
There's no portly baron harvesting them every season.
Yeah.
Of course, if a little girl and her dog come by, they may throw them at her.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna climb a
It's
tree and
a-
grab an apple.
It's a Johnny apple. You know, like a nice red, polished apple. It looks so juicy. It's covered in.
So this one's
Like wax.
different. It's not like a sour apple. It's a Johnny apple. Ooh.
Yeah, I climb a tree and grab one of those.
Sure. It doesn't appear that these trees have ever been taken down by axe or they've been touched by any blade, in fact. But these apple trees just simply line the path, a dry, well-trod path.
Well trod.
Trodden, I think, is what we discovered last week.
Trode.
Trode. It's already been trod. It's been trodden on. We had a discussion about this. What is
Trodden to sodden.
Trodden in sodden.
Well trodden and sodden.
And eventually the trail terminates and it opens into this broad clearing where you can see these large swaying trees. This peaceful glade, in fact, that is bathed in moonlight. You can hear the sound of the wind kind of among the trees.
Is there any?
The birds seem to gather here. Everything's casting kind of a soft, greenish, virulescent light from the broad leaves of the trees.
Are they the same
and
birds
your
I
board.
saw when I went to that tree?
Yes, skill rank and survival.
Yar.
You do. Go ahead and make a routine test.
Yar. Narp.
Narp. Narp. It'd be 70. And I got it.
Nice. These are not magpies. These are forest birds.
Are they? They're just.
Nightingales.
Okay, so we went through a silent period, and now there is kind of sound of life, sound of forest
Yeah.
life around us.
And in the center of this glade are these low stone huts, but one is much larger than the others. They look fairly small hovels meant for small people to live inside. And they kind of all slow encircle, like almost like a small village.
Like little hobbit houses.
Small in the sense that they're suited for children.
Yeah.
But they're kind of like rambling along the low hills here, and they all seem to kind of encircle this larger hut, I guess is the best way to call it. It's this wooden building that rises maybe 1 story. It's kind of got a rounded off door, and the rooftop is covered in mud and thatch. There's a little window, kind of a small window with a cross in the center of it, with orange stained glass.
Any firelight from any of the hovels?
No.
I'm gonna approach the large hut
Okay.
and open the door.
Oh.
I'll follow.
No knocking.
I stay behind the group.
As you approach the door, you can smell fresh apple pie.
Oh.
When you walk inside.
Mhm.
Okay. The door opens up, and there's this large room lined with wood that appears to be a place where someone has been curing herbs, and there's a large hearth where you can see a large apple pie about the size of, well, the center of the table, about like this big, with a nice golden crust softly cooking in this kind of open hearth. He's stoked with fire beneath. You can see a broom nearby, used to sweep away the dust. You can see a cauldron, but it does not boil. It's not dinner time after all. But a very large pie is kind of sitting on the oven. Its smell wafting through the place. You can see on a cutting board that there are remnants of apples. You can see nibbles up on the edges. You can see there are wet little skins lying on the floor. The red skins of the apples, of course.
Hmm.
You can see their juices kind of moist up on the cutting board. The knife's still sharp. The knife's still shiny.
And no one here?
Not that you can see, but there are other rooms inside.
The pie seems suspicious. I'm gonna slice it open just to see what's inside.
What do you all want to do?
You don't want to poke it first?
It sounds like a spill sits inside if you're offering advice, is that right?
Oh, damn.
What about yourself,
Do I
Gil?
s-
Oh no. Guillaume is at the edge of this clearing watching Thomas and Aspilison and all of them just going at it. Heading right inside. I am as with most things, I'm baiting out everybody else and I am going to watch the universe react to them.
What about Tiberius and Pipistrella?
Are there other doors leading away from this room?
So you are inside the hut.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I told them.
Yeah. There appears to be another door, yes.
I'm gonna go post myself at that door while he is taking a look at that pie.
Sure.
Pipistrella is enamored with the beauty of this place. And so she's gonna, just wander around and take in the things that are growing here. Like, if things do turn bad and we survive, we may need some of these herbs that are around here, but also just frankly like, wow, I didn't know this place could be so pretty
Yeah.
inside of this swamp.
You notice that within this clearing, it appears that whoever has tended the garden has purposely grown a number of roots that you could easily harvest. In fact, you will be able to go ahead and make an easy survival test.
Okay, survival. Perception. So 61. 88.
Nice. Unfortunately, you don't have the appropriate tools to
Yeah.
pluck mandrake root. You know that you must do it at night,
Nice.
and it must be done with, with a silver blade.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's likely that whoever has harvested this may have one inside. And for that matter, since you saw herbs hanging around inside, you may even find some of the finished roots within the hut as well.
Okay.
So you're posted up by the door inside, and you're kind of waiting all this out. And
I
you're
am outside seeing
yeah.
if anything reacts to it.
You poke into the pie, and the golden crust does not collapse. It's near finished, and it's glistening with sugar. And as you pull the blade out, there's this kind of greenish red goop on the end of it. You smell it. It smells like apple pie. A very warm apple pie, for that matter.
I want to make sure that there was no secret ingredients.
As you're
in.
near this door, you can feel coldness coming from it. In fact, you can see like what almost looks like low steam from underneath the door, underneath the threshold between the door, the threshold and the floor.
I'm gonna open the door.
Outside the door is a pair of hooks. And as you open the door, you walk essentially into this place that's laden with these cut blocks of ice. Like somehow the ice in here is not melted. And there are all manner of meats hanging from the ceiling. There's pork, unsurprisingly. There are some other fruits that have been wrapped in cheesecloth. There are some marmalades and a number of other ingredients one would find or expect to find in a well-stocked larder as you're kind of searching around in here. Miss Billison, what are you doing?
I'm with Thomas.
You lose sight completely of them, and in fact, Guillaume, they have a light.
You lose what? I'm so sorry.
They're inside. They're all inside the hut at this point.
Okay.
Are you inside too, or are you just
No,
Okay.
no, I'm still taking
Damn
a
it.
look at,
Yeah.
at the surroundings. Yeah, and like, because with how nice this place looks,
Uh-huh.
like, it may be like she thinks it may be an more ordinary person, doesn't want to be rude,
Mhm.
and so, yeah, you know, she looked at the plants, but even if she could take them up, she wouldn't.
The only thing I think Yo might be doing is just trying to, as sneakily and as quietly as he can, maybe take a peek in some of the other huts just to see if like they're furnished, if they're
Yeah.
what state they might actually be in.
It looks like some of these other huts. Go and roll a stealth test. This test will be routine for you.
48. Nope. 71.
Want to reroll?
No. No.
Okay. You kind of barge on the doors. Like the doors don't quite open easily, and you're like trying to hold it and just kind of bump. It opens up, and you find these kind of small, semi-well furnished. This is little small chambers, and you could see a myriad of wooden toys attached to ropes, like little animals with wheels on the bottom of them that a child would pull around. You can see chalk drawings on the walls of trees and flowers, like swirling trees and swirling flowers. You can see little beds that are all neatly made. Foot chests where they would keep their little boots and little clothing. Wash bins where one would wash in the morning, including a little polished piece of steel where one would be able to see oneself to cleanse your face. And
Arguably, this is they are better kept here than they would in sodden oil poil, from what we have seen.
that's right.
Interesting. Okay. So with that and doing that little bit of investigation, I will start heading towards the house.
Okay.
The main lodge.
Yeah. You also notice in here, Spillicent, there appears to be a set of stairs that will lead down into a cellar. But the cellar, you notice, is chained shut with a lock, kind of arranged into the links of the chain.
What do you think?
I look at the lock.
Clovis comes inside. Pipistrel is still not there.
I look at the locked door and see if I can have any inkling of how durable or complex this lock is.
As you lift the links of chains in the hand, the lock is actually not affixed. The hook is not affixed into the eye of the lock, and it actually is unlocked.
Okay, I'll
You want to go check it out?
undo the chain and open the door.
Okay. You kind of gives this soft groaning sound. It's not musty. It's not old, but it opens into a deep cellar, and the cellar seems to be lined with stone.
Okay.
You can see down into the cellar. In fact, there are these kind of insets into the stone where candles have been burning, like flagon, like stone floors, stone walls.
I call out to the rest of the group to join me.
Yeah, let's go. I'm
Yeah,
gonna run out and
Can
get
you hear
Pip.
Okay.
Before-
Yeah, then I do.
Before I walk out of the barter, the ice-filled barter, these ice blocks, are they large? Like,
Yeah, they're fairly large. I mean, they've been cut about like in 1x1 cubes, but they're stacked almost to the ceiling.
So the way that they're stacked, as I'm kind of looking
Almost like Lego blocks.
does it, the way that they are stacked, does it look like they're stacked in such a way that they may, you know, like say like a pyramid, or something, where something could be concealed, like beyond them, or can I have a pretty good view around them?
That's a good question. You kind of peer for a moment, but really you need the lantern. You need some sort of light to figure that out.
I'm gonna kind of poke my head out the door, say, before we go, can one of you bring the light?
This place is absolutely beautiful.
Don't get too attached to it.
possibly too beautiful.
I got one for you, Tiberius.
Were you all here last time?
As you hand the lantern to Tiberius, the floor seems to shuffle, almost moving, and the whole building cranks to the left as you all need to make hard coordination tests.
Hard coordination.
Yes. No.
30.
I just made it exactly right on the dot.
Oh, nice.
I failed.
Failed.
Who failed?
I rolled a 31 and I failed.
Okay, those who failed are knocked prone.
Okay.
And as you hit the adjoining wall, you suffer 6 damage, but your armor does not soak up this falling damage at all.
Okay.
And the door kind of slams against itself, and the ice blocks begin to slowly slide across the floor as most of you are in the main hall here. The door of the cellar slams shut, the chains rattle, falling to the ground. The coals of the fire begin to roll across the floor as the whole thing is almost upturned, and the pie spack makes this wet sound as all the steaming hot apples and sugar kind of begin to fill the room. The knife and everything else that's been treated on the cutting board slides off. The door kind of opens up, and you realize that you're holding on for dear life as the building kind of turns to the side, and you can feel it kind of shamble to life as the door wham shuts itself, and you hear this clunk sound, not from the door, but from the house itself, and you feel it begin to moving through the swamp as the thing comes to life all around you. And we'll stop here for the minute.
Whoa!
We're trapped in the wagon cabin!
That's so cool. I mean, scary. It's very scary.
This makes me wish so much that I had printed off that mini, because I had access to a file of this very thing.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Can I get it done in 2 weeks?
Oh
Shoot.
Whoa.
All right, so we got some corruption tonight.
Yeah. So much corruption.
Yeah, I mean, I got 6, so I don't think you can. It doesn't matter what you roll, correct?
No, you can roll 7.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You're rolling a d10.
So
That's right.
my failing heart ability, if I gain any corruption in regards to stress or fear or terror, I add 3 more corruption on top of that.
Oh lord.
So that
And then
critical
you critically
failure,
failed.
yeah, was so bad.
So 12 corruption.
12 corruption.
Yeah. So it's definitely 1 chaos rank automatically, and then we'll roll against the remainder.
Yep.
So if my corruption dial is equal to or lesser than the corruption you earned, you gain 1 chaos rank. And I rolled a 2.
Damn it. Oh boy, we are close.
So you got your
2
second
chaos
one,
ranks in
yeah.
1 game session?
I have
we are
officially
close.
hit 10.
You reached 10 chaos ranks?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Wow.
Well, we'll talk. We'll, we, WE''LL, will talk about that.
We will.
After the session.
We will.
So anybody else gain a chaos rank?
Yeah.
If you gain nothing, you can go up an order rank, order for chaos rank. So
Can you hand me a dry erase?
I am very
Oh,
close.
if I got
close to what?
Oh,
Where you
10 chaos. Or yeah, 10 chaos.
How much order?
I am at so I'm at 7 order ranks filled in. I'm at 8 chaos
Nice.
ranks filled in.
So
So I could pick either or. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
it's up
didn't
to
get
you.
any. Okay.
Yeah. So when you hit 10 chaos ranks, and it's this has never happened to Will, but this has happened so many times in our games.
Yeah.
What you do, Will, is you will erase all of your chaos ranks except for the permanent ones, if you have any permanent ones, which I don't think you do. And you will gain a disorder.
Sweet.
That makes sense for the story, makes sense for your character, and we'll talk about that here
No
briefly.
mutation?
But no, I don't really like mutations. They're not as interesting or fun.
Okay.
This isn't quite a Warhammer game. It's the more insidious stuff is better.
I have been playing Dark Tide recently.
Me too.
So let's talk about. Oh yeah, so you get to unlock a new ability.
Hey.
And let's talk about tonight's session. Let's start with the skeleton.
start with someone else. My brain's not here yet.
Fine. We will go to Tuma, Lord Tuma.
So I think Tama this whole session was just like slightly annoyed at all the roadblocks getting in front of him. He just wanted to like hurry up and just burn this witch and be done with this town. And just it just seems like one of those kind of sleepy, sticky, gross places that he doesn't want to be, and he just wants to wash his hands of everything about this swamp and move on. And everyone is like wanting to pull at the threads of the mystery, and he's just like curmudgeonly allowing it. But he just wants it to be over with.
Is this 15 or 14?
What's that?
This is 15.
This is session 15. Real quickly, Spillicent, were you prone?
I was prone.
I was also prone.
Yep.
What about Toma?
No.
Let's move on next to Guillaume.
Yeah, Guillaume he's mostly he's okay with everything that is happening because it is an interesting mystery. He has zero faith that they will actually achieve their mission with what they have right now, and he is very much just kind of anticipating another passing. That is very much where his brain is, just kind of ultimately within this whole thing right now. Is like, well, at the end of this, we're gonna start over. We might have some more information to go off of, which will be great. But right now, he very much just feels like we're flying into the sun, completely blind, deaf, and dumb.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Tiberius, are you prone?
No.
Okay. Tell us about Tiberius's experience tonight.
Oh, it was pretty bad.
Not good.
But what a great way to enter the game! Like every session has been really bad. We got me the revised core rulebook, please, while Will's talking about Tiberius.
So, Tiberius has a drawback that hasn't come into play yet, which is that failing heart. And I like to imagine that it's kind of like as he spends more time in the outside world, he is reminded of living in that cave was a constant reminder of failures that I could not remember, and there were terrors living, for living that life. But I feel like all that time spent there, he forgot about the terror. He forgot about other types of terrors that could exist. So maybe it's poor diet, maybe it's prolonged guilt and bad sleep, but the reality of the situation that he is in is really weighing extremely heavily on him.
Yeah.
And he's been close to cracking. I think he's finally starting to crack. He feels more paranoid. He's acted more paranoid this whole time. Every person we spoke to that was not in our group, he suspected of something more.
Tiberius aware of the passing?
Yeah, Tiberius was told about it.
Okay, he's told about it.
But
Okay.
basically in abstract terms. He doesn't. He's never experienced it.
Gotcha.
Although he is absolutely terrified that if he passes, he will be back in that cave.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
So that's about where he is at right now. As this little home starts to move and walk, he realizes no matter where he goes, he's still just locked in some sort of prison.
Yeah. I think we have a very fitting, it's so on the nose for the drawback you're going to gain. It's called cabin fever.
Oh, I love it.
And it works well because you were in the cave for so long. And there's a story, I'll share this brief story about that. So it's these stories about these afflictions are always told kind of as person talking about. So once I was held, rendered helpless of the whims of others or nature herself. Now my skin crawls at the thought of a containment. I will do anything to escape a situation, refusing to let anyone or anything stand in the way of my freedom. So here's what this essentially means. Whenever you're restrained in any way, you flip to succeed at skill tests to escape. But when you're trapped or confined into a small space, you immediately suffer from fear.
Oi.
Afflictions are fun from Flames of Freedom because you get a benefit in a survival. You get a survival strategy, but you also have like something a trauma you carry with you. So that's what you get.
Oh no! Fear, combine that with my failing heart. Oh man. Ah, beans.
Pipistrella. Oh. How about that dream? How about that?
Yeah. He, you know, I made a crack to Pipistrel about that, or he made a kind of a crack towards Pipistrel about that, you know, the restful dream spell, and instead I get this very clear, what I can only guess is really a memory, of a situation that I would sooner forget. But I need to face it. So it's which is part of why he climbed that tree in the first place and wanted to face whatever was there.
Yeah.
And facing that unknown, it's he's and why you open the door and walk through it, he needs to face he needs to face the reality of what happened. Maybe the dream was a show, or maybe it's just his own fears made manifest.
Yeah.
You know, he's not sure, but he's yeah, it's affected his actions in terms of he is almost, maybe not recklessly, but maybe recklessly, trying to face the unknown to prepare himself when he has to face his largest unknown.
Yeah. So Pipistrella, were you prone?
No. She is right now struggling with her old ideas of jealousy and reminding herself that things may not be the way that she was taught. So her first inclination when Edwin was around was to, you know, defend herself against something like supernatural, right? If, you know, she didn't even know if it was, but she was going to do something, and then was like, no, she's saying it's a good monster, and she's trying to learn from that, which may not be a good thing, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
So then, with this whole thing of like going into this area, and it seemed like everything was well taken care of, and so it's like, we've got these people that live in an area where it's blighted, and then we've got this one area where everything seems to thrive. You know, maybe the owner of this house isn't the same person that we're looking for. And then it gets up a lot. And so
Yeah.
Baba Yaga.
it's going back to that, this is a threat.
So what about the spell set? You are prone, to be clear.
I am prone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I'm having brain rot tonight. Aspillicent is basically trying to was getting a little irritated with you a little bit.
Really?
With Toma.
How so?
I think
Excuse me.
I think
leader?
Aspillicent wanted to go about things a little bit differently and wanted to explore a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this environment is really something that I want to take my time in and get to kind of explore and know before jumping into it, because I've experienced this environment before. And there's a lot to learn from environment, especially if we have a foe.
Yeah.
And
I
so,
get all this as a player, but
yeah.
Toma is wearing heavy armor and he's irritated.
Well, exactly.
I can't see.
Right.
So sweaty, I'm chafing like
That's
a bear.
why I was being an asshole the entire session.
No, that's great. That's great. But Aspillicent wanted to go about it a little bit differently, and so I think that this kind of this area is just, for whatever reason, is very comforting to her, but the whole child thing was extremely terrifying, but I was more of sound of mind because I think of the environment that I was in. I felt more comfortable in exploring within this dark, thick, wooded area for something that was scary, even I was scared. And especially once they all kind of were just done with the world, I immediately tried to put them together to protect them, and then I went out into my comfort zone to find the discomfortable kind of thing. And so
run head on.
Run head on, so I enjoyed that. Spillicent enjoyed it without enjoying it, if that makes any sense.
It does, yeah.
It's very comforting.
Well, we will continue on our 16th session, and we'll see what happens next.
Got Home Alone.
Sweet.
Man.
Yeah. Got Home Alone by an evil one. But I mean, this place is well cultivated. I think to the point that Adam made, it's the challenge that I think as a game master to lay a trap, and this was a trap, was to present the dichotomy of the absolute squalor that Sodden lived in, and with the weight of what had happened between Sodden and Poyle, to present a place that could have been, I was thinking in my head, like, maybe the players will believe this is actually a refuge where the people of Poyle went. Maybe they will see this as like an opportunity to like understand, maybe what truly happened in Poyle and Sodden. Maybe something else is going on here. And it was presented just like in Hansel and Gretel. Like it wasn't a cabin filled with candy. It was a cabin filled with normality. And the normality in a place that seemed so stricken with poverty was enough of a honeypot to lure you all in. So I am proud of myself, and I'm also happy that I'm mostly happy that you all kind of decided to
I did
explore
take
it.
the bait, but I wasn't really reading it that way. I read it more as like, this is a rich person. This is the rich witch, like taking advantage of everything.
There's
Taking
1%
the
of
best,
wishes.
That rich
taking the
witch.
best apples and all this nice stuff, and it's like, motherfucker.
So Steph, eat the rich, eat the witch.
Yeah, eat
That's
the
the-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Make
no,
her into a pie.
Adam thought it was
Very
a trap,
obvious,
but
isn't it?
I don't like to play off of what Adam thinks because Adam has played a character that did a campaign through this very area, and it's like, try and
Sure.
I did play Orwell Claviger, and so it's just like, okay, what did I think when it was new as Orwell, and go off of that, not what I found out afterwards.
Yeah. So I would encourage you to think about, because you mentioned very early on when we were talking about like the game, like you thought it was Pipistrelle was looking for Orwell, but maybe Orwell is just one of the stones that leads to the revelation, right?
Yeah.
What happens next?
Yeah, and like, well, I mean, right now she just believes that he is dead because if she's wearing his skin, she's taking it a little too literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but like also like, just because, not to act like Orwell acted, but to have the same impression that Orwell did when he was presented with these things. And to act differently, but based on how she would act and not what I know happened last time. And knowing you, sometimes you change things to better suit the story anyway, so sometimes it's easier when you do that.
Yeah. So, next week, next session. See you all later.
Bye.
I also realized.
Hey there, viewers. If you like what you're seeing, take the next step. Head on over to our Patreon, where we create content for Zweihander and other games. Just go to grimandperilous.com and click on the Patreon button. Thanks.